the Democrats are not only threatening gun control, but they're threatening to nuke us if we don't give up our guns. Ocasio-Cortez, new congresswoman, is under fire yet again. And 4 actresses decide to get together for a cup of coffee and to lecture us on diversity and equality. This is Nicole Camiso, and you're watching Triggered. So the latest news was a Twitter war that broke out between Representative Eric Swalwell, a Democrat from California, and his followers on Twitter and his not followers on Twitter. And so somebody had commented on one of his gun control posts and said, you know, you'll never take my guns away. I'd like to see the government try, kind of a thing. And so the representative, he said, and it would be a short war, my friend. The government has nukes. Too many of them, but they're legit. I'm sure if we talked, we could find common ground to protect our families and communities. So this was a tweet from a representative in California, and this is clearly a threat to our Second Amendment rights. And it's not like this is some Joe Schmo saying this off the street. This is a politician, an elected representative in our country. And this is dangerous. This is dangerous because it's not them just saying we're going to have gun control and we're going to have better laws put in place and common sense gun laws. I mean, that's all BS to me anyways. But at the end of the day, they're admitting that they want your guns. They want your rights. They want your guns. And they're willing to nuke you if you say no. I mean, we're not just talking about it anymore. And a lot of my friends in college have said, you know, oh, well, they're never going to take the guns away. You'll have your guns, hold on to your guns. And it's a lot of eye rolling when, you know, we discuss in debates possible tyrannical government takeover. And that's a huge part of the Second Amendment. I mean, the Second Amendment reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. This is an important part of the Second Amendment, and it's important that the Founding Fathers put this in there because it's in there for a reason, which is we, as the people, have the right to be able to protect ourselves from a 1984 type style government takeover. If you haven't read the book 1984 by George Orwell, it is one of my favorite books and you should go read it. And it's a very scary preview for what could happen if people like this representative keep getting elected. And then after all of the blowback on Twitter, he had tweeted, America's gun debate in one thread. 1. I propose a buyback of assault weapons. 2. Gun owner says he'll go to war with USA if that happens. 3. I sarcastically point out USA isn't losing to his assault weapon. 4. I'm called a tyrant. 5. Zero progress. So you threatening to nuke an American citizen is sarcastic and zero progress. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke that we elect these types of people that are willing to stamp all over our rights. And speaking of uneducated, weak leadership that we've elected, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has said this a few days ago.
Is that should we, and if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all 3 chambers of Congress, all 3 chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020, we can't start working in 2020.
Okay, so basically, and you know what? Not that I feel bad for Ocasio-Cortez, but she really has been under fire a lot in the media, and I really think that is because how stupid a lot of the things that she says are. And I think it's fair for the media to criticize her so hard because once you say something like, I can't afford my apartment in D.C. when she now has a government job and a government salary of $174,000 a year, a lot of Americans are going to be pissed at somebody that says, I can't afford where I'm going to live at my new job, when we're the ones paying for her job salary. So I could understand that. And, you know, if she had never said stupid things and she wasn't as uneducated as she is about politics and about economics and about government, so there are three branches of government, and that's what everybody, that was the blowback, that Ocasio-Cortez doesn't even know the three branches of government. And as we all know, or as we all should know, the three branches of government are legislative, executive, and judicial. But the presidency is definitely not even a term that's used when it comes to that type of situation. So it wouldn't have been, I mean, the presidency is a part of the executive branch. So yeah, I do not like Ocasio-Cortez. I don't like her policy plans. I don't like anything she stands for, quite frankly. But, you know, she should really stop talking about things she has no idea about. So this was the main thing I wanted to talk about today because it really, really gets to me. So, if you haven't seen it yet, 4 actresses got together, 2 of them being Emma Roberts and Ellen Pompeo. You might better know Ellen Pompeo as Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy. I myself love Grey's Anatomy, and it actually really pisses me off when celebrities get involved in politics like this and they have these powwows where they lecture us normal American citizens on things that we should be doing, because it makes it not fair for us when we come home from a long day of work or we come home from a long day of school and we just want to turn on the TV and have some chill time. And now a lot of these actresses and actors and musicians have really ruined a lot of that because they spew all this hateful political garbage that, yeah, the leftists that are normal Americans might love it, but conservatives like myself who don't love it, it really ruins it. And I'm not saying they don't have the right to. Of course they have the right to. They have the free speech to, you know, do it all you want if you want to. But I'm just saying, when you do things like that, like when Jimmy Kimmel said that all Republicans, he doesn't want any Republicans to watch his show, you're alienating a giant chunk of the nation by doing this. And I just really hate that, and it makes me hate the actors and actresses and musicians, and it makes me not want to watch any of their stuff anymore. So let's roll the first clip here.
Now we're getting into a conversation about race. I have plenty of white friends who have no black girlfriends, who have no Latina girlfriends.
So I'm going to stop her. So she says that none of her white friends have black girlfriends or Latina girlfriends. So I have a question for you, Ellen Pompeo. Are you just picking your friends based on their color now? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to walk down the street or walk into a grocery store and say I make a friend, but she's white and I'm white. I'm supposed to say, ooh, you know what? My white girlfriend count is a little high, so I'm not going to be able to be your friend.
I walked out of my friend's house the other night. She had a political event, and I saw not one person of color at that event, and I turned around and I walked out and I sent her a text. And I said, I love you, but...
So, here's my next question. She walks into a room and all she sees are white people, and she gets pissed off. Keep in mind, she's also white. She walks out because she's mad about it all being white people. Like, how wrong is that? Imagine it was the other way around. Imagine she's saying she walked into a room of black people and walked right out because there wasn't one white person in there. Isn't that that's racist? But when you flip it over to all white people, it's suddenly not racist. It's actually, she's a social justice warrior and we should put her up on a pedestal for coming out and speaking about diversity like this. And I'm sure that, I mean, a lot of people in that room were probably nice people. And just because there wasn't anybody of color or anybody that was not white, she had to walk out and leave because that's unacceptable. I mean, it's absolutely racist. That is the definition of racism.
people who go to those schools who do not have enough color, it's our responsibility to go to the faculty and said there need to be more kids of color. There's 2 kids of color in the kindergarten. That's not acceptable.
So let me stop her there. It's not acceptable for there to be 2 black kids in the kindergarten class, and the rest say there's 30 kids in the class and there's 2 black kids in the class. So how are we supposed to go about this? This is what I love when it comes to talking about race. And it's a sensitive topic. I don't want to talk about it. It's controversial. Well, I'm going to talk about it because they have no problem lecturing us on what we're supposed to be doing. So you're supposed to walk into a room and count the number of black kids and the number of white kids, which is kind of segregating them. And then you're supposed to, what, take out a couple of white kids and put in black kids so there's more equality? So there's more diversity, I should say. How is that going to work? How? How are you not then picking out white people because they're white and putting in black people because they're black? I mean, that's not fair. I mean, let's keep going.
There are no black teachers.
So, and then she goes on to say there are no black teachers. This is unacceptable. So now we're getting into really murky waters because now what are we supposed to do? Hire people based on the color of their skin? I mean, this goes back to the whole women and equality of women thing, which, you know, and the big feminist movement and the new feminist movement in this country that I'm quite frankly absolutely disgusted with. But I myself, as a woman, would never, ever want to be hired just because I'm a woman. I want to be hired for my hard work and to know that I got there because I'm the best damn person for that job, not because I'm a girl and he didn't get the job because he's a boy and we have too many boys here. I mean, that's degrading to me. And that's basically what she's saying here, but as race, that we should be hiring black teachers just because they're black. Well, you know what? I think we should hire teachers no matter what color they are. We should be hiring who we think is best for the job and who's going to teach our children best. And then she goes on to talk about how it's white people's fault and we need to fix the lack of diversity.
This day has been incredible, and there's a ton of women in the room, but I don't see enough color, and I didn't see enough color when I walked in the room today. And I had a meeting with the director of another endorsement project that I'm doing.
So I'm going to stop her. She says she doesn't see enough color, so she's having her, checklist, because she's the queen of who gets to be there and who doesn't. She says, I've been so happy here. There are plenty of women here, so that's her first check, women. And then she says there's not enough color. So let's hear her out.
I said, when I show up on set, I would like to see the crew look like the world that I walk around in every day. And I think it's up to all productions to make sure that your crew looks like the world we see. As Caucasian people, it's our job. It's our task, it's our responsibility to make sure that we speak up in every single room we walk into, that this is not okay, and that we can all do better.
Okay, so this is what I love, especially about celebrities, and they talk about how gracious and how, full-on charge they are when it comes to diversity. So she talked about in the first clip that I showed how her friend was holding a political event. She walked in, it was all white people, and she turned around and walked right out because how dare you not invite anybody of other race here, and I'm appalled and I'm leaving. And I text her, I love you, but I can't stay here. Okay, so how come when you walked on set and you were upset about it, you didn't leave? Oh, because you're getting paid to do this. I mean, this is what I love. So it wasn't bad when you come to set and you're making money off of this production. It just bothered you. But it bothered you so much at your friend's house that you left. in a split second. You didn't even think about it. I mean, come on, Meredith Grey. Come on.
It's our job because we've created the problem.
Okay, so absolutely not. It's not my job, just because I'm white, to make it fair. That's absolutely not true. Am I saying that there is no racism at all in this country? Absolutely not. I am a realistic person. I'm not saying that at all. Am I saying that there's no sexism in this country? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, right now in this country, every single person is the most free we have ever been. And to backtrack and talk about how poorly we're doing is going to do the opposite effect. And what none of these celebrities realize is they're falling into exactly what the high leftists want them to do. The only way for them to keep getting elected is to keep people thinking that it's really, really bad. And that we need their help to make it more diverse. But she's absolutely wrong. It's not my job to make it fair. It's not. Because, so what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm supposed to go up for a job and there's a black person going up for the same job and there's a Hispanic person going up for the same job and then there's me and I get it per se, and then I'm supposed to say, you know what? This is my social justice warrior moment. You have the job to one of them. This is ridiculous, and that's wrong. That's racism. And then she says, it's our job, we created the problem, meaning white people created the problem. It's not my fault I was born white, just like it's not my fault I was born a girl. It's not my brother's fault he was born a boy. It's not a black person's fault they were born black. This is out of our hands, it's out of our control, and it's not my job in 2018 to fix something that happened so many years ago. It's not my job. It's not. And just like the leftist tune goes, they never offer a solution. So they're proposing all these problems, and they're proposing all of these things that we need to make it more fair, and we need to make it more diverse, and that white people need to speak out and accept their white privilege and accept all of these things. And when I ask, okay, say I do those things, what's the solution? What's the next step in this? There is none. Well, you just need to accept your white privilege and recognize it and, really just see it that way. So now I'm supposed to see the world in color? I thought that was racist. We were taught in school, at least I was taught in school, that it doesn't matter what color somebody is. It doesn't matter what gender somebody is. It doesn't matter what somebody looks like, that you should be nice to everyone. No matter who they are, no matter what they look like, you should be nice to everybody, and you should accept everybody for who they are. Pretty sure Ellen Pompeo walking out of a party because it's all white people really isn't accepting people for who they are, but okay. And then they cheers, and then Emma Roberts is like, yeah, seriously. Like, seriously, good for you. Cheers. Like, that was amazing. And I love American Horror Story, and I love Emma Roberts on American Horror Story, and it makes me so angry when they do things like this because they ruin all of my favorite TV shows. They really ruin it. But that's all I got for this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, everybody. Kiss your family members. Tell them you love them. And good luck if you have political debates at the Thanksgiving table. But if you like this podcast, like us on Liberty Den University on Facebook and Twitter. This is Nicole Camiso. Thank you, guys.